Hello everyone and welcome to the new video. Today I will share all about spices and pantry. Well, if there was a competition in the world about how many spices that an average household holds, I think India would be in the top list. The number of spices that we use in our food is just so many. And wonder if you have to open all those bottles each time to prepare a meal. Don't you think our grannies were very smart to introduce us to the masala boxes? After moving to Mumbai, because of the humid weather, I had to change my masala boxes to steel. They are airtight, hence the freshness of the masalas or spices stays intact. If you have seen my earlier pantry organization, then you remember that I use these baskets to organize the spices stock. Though they work perfectly, but with that said, removing all those bottles every time to reach the basket was just getting a little tedious. So today, before I refill my masala boxes, I wanted to change few things. In two of my steel masala box container, in one I will keep the whole spices, and in the other, I will keep the powdered masala. Just mildly toasting the spices for just few minutes releases all the essential oils, which makes the spice mix ever so more fragrant. Each month when I make the spices stock, this is how most of the time my setup looks like. While one spice is getting toasted in the kadhai, the other set of spices are cooling. My first tip would be choose a container based on your need, usage and budget. Choosing the right container and jar for your pantry is one of the biggest debates on internet. You may be even wondering which to choose: steel, plastic, glass, copper. Believe it or not, it all depends on who is using those containers, your budget and your mobility. My next tip would be to organize based on usage. In my experience, it's always best to place things which are frequently used in most accessible or the prime real estate zone.
Like a candle, I just burn away. All we really have is time. All we really have is time.
My next tip would be to organize in zones. If you have watched my kitchen organization video, you may have heard me talking about zoning in kitchen. Dividing the kitchen in different zones based on their function. For instance, if I go from right to left, there is a washing zone, there is a meal prep zone, cooked meal zone, lunch packing zone, and then there is breakfast zone and tea coffee zone. This just helps me to keep everything organized, and I make sure that everything related to each zone stays in that particular area. This way I can find things easily, and it really helps me in making all the meals really fast and easily.
They used to say
Instead of discarding this wooden box, I decided to store all my whole spices that I do not use on everyday basis but need it when I am making something special.
All you ever do is shine.
I use these undershelf wire baskets. This just increases the space in my pantry. Adding masala spoons in masala boxes and jars really helps to prevent any kind of moisture addition. Corralling similar items in a basket or a bin really helps to find things. Deep cabinets are always a problem. In my experience, an ideal pantry should be one with a very skinny shelf. But unfortunately, not all of us have access to such dream pantries. If you're dealing with deep pantry shelves, the best option is to use baskets that works almost like drawers. Using basket, it allows you to see items that are kept back of the pantry shelf without having to move everything in front. This is a great way to maximize the space and make most use of deep pantry shelves. This is my makeshift shelf riser and it helps so much to access things that are behind. If you can notice, I have raised all the labels as well. I strictly follow FIFO rule. First in, first out. Anything that is left over from the last month's pantry, that needs to get over first and then move on to the new stock. Sticking these small patches of silica gel really helps to protect the food ingredient. In my opinion, labeling everything in kitchen is a crucial for organization. It is important to remember that you may not be the only person using this in kitchen. Labeling can be helpful for all the other family members or guests. When everything is labeled clearly, it just becomes easier for everyone to find out what they need and put things back in the rightful places. This way, we can avoid total confusion and save a lot of time in the long run. So label everything in your kitchen to make it more efficient and user-friendly for everyone. In my opinion, storing extra groceries in bins and basket with proper category is always a great way to keep your pantry organized. This makes it so easier to find items you need, and it also helps to prevent clutter and confusion. Here is another hack. If you will add few bay leaves in flour, rice, this will help to prevent the buildup of bugs in any form of grain or flour. So let me give you a quick tour of the pantry. This is where entire breakfast zone is there, and so is the baking zone. Here in this corner stays all the snacks for Rishi, which is super easy for her to access. I have used lots of shelf risers to maximize the space. Another tip for you, if you have honey bottles, keep it on a container lid. I keep noodles in one bin and pastas in another. In this cabinet, I store all poha, murmure, besan, sattu, which requires a little bit of meal prep. Here I store all my millets in the bottom shelf along with salt. This is my most accessed cabinet, but the back side is really inaccessible, so I keep all my whole spices in there. There are a couple of more bottles that needs cleaning, will fit in right in this corner. Here is all my stock masalas that I will use to fill masalas in my masala box each week. This has become super convenient. This most inconvenient cabinet is so well organized now. In this corner, I keep all my oats. These are steel cut oats, and in the inside corner are the large packs of oil. Here I store all different sauces. Everything has a separate category, separate bin, and makes my life super easy when the grocery comes. Know exactly where each thing will go, and I can direct everyone. Using door space with either over the door hooks or stick on hooks, you can always maximize the space. I also like to use the vertical space on the walls by adding shelf. This tea coffee corner is a savior for everyday coffee and tea. I use my bullet journal and my phone to manage grocery and pantry of my house. It gets really easy to track everything. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful to organize your own pantry. If you did, then please subscribe to the channel and like this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.